Nice to meet you, man.
I'm doing a story actually on Monroe Street.
Really?
I'm on Monroe Street doing a story, and the story is about Monroe Street.
There you go.
How convenient, actually,
I wanted to see Jay. Like, my Jay sense is tingling. This is like this. It's like that fear that you have whenever, like, like you're about to be grabbed by a monster. It's like that, but with Jay.
Vlog day 27.
These pine needles are slippery. The bus has stopped and stayed. And Santa Claus is not happy with something. I've been resisting doing another story for a stamp for a long time because I haven't made a new introduction yet, and I really want to. But I have so many stories, so it's time for a story for a stamp. So I was going to tell a handful of stories today and just completely checked out because at the end of the day, so many of them required so much more context than I was actually ready to give. I figured we'd go back to when I first got to South Africa. December 1st, 2010, I landed in South Africa, in Durban, and I didn't know what the heck I was getting myself into. I went to the hotel that I was set to stay in. I waited for my buddy Marty, who was not my buddy at the time, but became my buddy, to pick me up the next day. Took me to this little black teaching college called Appelsbosch, which had been shut down since the end of apartheid. Fascinating little piece of history, way out the heck in the middle of nowhere, middle of Zulu territory. It was this run-down, overgrown place that most of the long-term staff had moved into while the ship was in shipyard. So this was while I was working with Mercy Ships. Mercy Ships runs the world's largest charity hospital ship, which at the time was in dry dock, which meant it was out of the water. They were redoing the generators. There was a bunch of stuff, which leads to its own interesting stories down the line. But for this instance, the long-term staff were all staying at Appelsbosch with their families, and only the people that were necessary to fix the ship were on the ship. So I went to Appelsbosch because I was not necessary to fix anything. And the long-term staff had not seen a new face in a long time. They had been there for 3 months and they were kind of sick of each other, and I was like a breath of fresh air. At least that's like how I like to spin it. I have no idea if that's the truth or not, but let's just move on. So I get to this teaching college, and they kind of cleaned it up a little bit. They were living there. We found weed growing on the grounds every once in a while. Pretty sure the groundskeeper might have been, encouraging that, but... The Land Rovers, of course, being a key component to any good traditional African adventure in the purely colonial sense of the word traditional. But look at this place. I mean, the flowers helped to make it look really nice. Decent little photos there. But it was kind of an adventure. This tree was amazing. And these are the dorms we stayed in. And then if you went up on this hill, actually this hill is where my friend Jesse nearly blew my face off with fireworks. Jesse. I have that video somewhere. I need to find it. You can see the rolling green hills and just these rundown old dorms that echoed, and when it rained it was amazing, just the sound of it coming down. It was so cool. This is where we had our dining hall to eat. This is, I don't know, families stayed up here, and over here was the gym where we would have events. And I ended up running sound for the kids' Christmas play that they ran right off the bat, and this is just a sound check. Yeah, what a beautiful place. I genuinely miss it. Appelsbosch was one of those places that most of the long-term crew were kind of sick of because they'd had to put it together and then it just didn't have everything they wanted and it was far from everything else. But it was kind of a magical place. And it was only the gateway to the rest of the experience that I would have in all the other countries that I lived in Africa. But it was a really amazing start. As I was looking at a lot of those photos, or just browsing through them to see if I could find some good ones of Appelsbosch, it really made me crave, the good old days. I mean, there's always something nostalgic about the past because we can focus on the known aspects of it and the good times, and then we can compare them to the times that we're in and wish, oh man, I wish that I was in those good times and not facing all of these unknowns today. But as I looked through those photos, I recognized there was a real stress there. Moving to a new country to join a hospital ship with a bunch of people I'd never met before. I knew nobody when I showed up at Appelsbosch. there were a lot of unknowns in that, and there was a lot of, I mean, I was really excited about it. I was really looking forward to it, but I was also kind of scared, and I recognized that there's a real similarity there with the beginning of that season of my life and what feels like a new beginning right now. There's a lot of unknowns that I'm facing right now, as far as, I'm starting a new company. What's going to happen with my publishing career? Financially, where am I going to be in 3 months? Am I going to just run out of money? And I'm making plans for this uncertain future where all the variables are unknown. Man, not all the variables, but some really, really big variables. It leaves me in this really vulnerable place where, because I'm already tired and working really hard, and I'm just, on the verge of so much craziness happening. I'm just recognizing tonight just how much I'm facing the unknown again. And I've been here before, and that's why I'm really resonating with past me, who was going to South Africa to join a hospital ship and had no idea what he was doing. And yeah, no wonder I'm stressed out right now.